by the rise in body and our spirit for our opening hymn. Lift every voice and sing, also known as the African American National Anthem that we sing on this Martin Luther King Day weekend.
Welcome. My name is Becky Bogert, and I am a member of your Board of Trustees. On behalf of the whole Board of Trustees, I want to extend a warm welcome to our visitors, both on campus and online, and invite our visitors to participate in any of our events. We welcome visitors to find out more about Unitarian Universalism by registering on our virtual guest book, which you can find via a link on the homepage of our website at uusrq.org. If you do so, we'll send you our weekly newsletter and Zoom links to our virtual events. We invite you to join us for coffee and conversation after the service, and we look forward to getting to know each of you. I have 3 brief announcements. The Arts Council cordially invites you to a reception in the Lexel Gallery immediately after today's service, and our new exhibit features the work of Don Diddams and Joan Boyce, 2 longstanding UUSRQ members. Please stop by after the service to enjoy the art and greet the artist. The Immigration Justice Coalition, Southwest Florida, invites you Friday, January 23rd at 5 p.m. to see the play Building the Wall by Pulitzer and Tony Award-winning playwright Robert Schenken, and presented by Neil Cowan, who's with us, one of our members. And it's called Building the Wall, and is terrifying and gripping exploration of a powerful dystopian drama about life under an autocratic regime. Join us for refreshments and Q&A after the play. Yay, Neil. As you leave the service this morning, You will see a table that has a box on it for your pledge cards if you brought yours today. We will also be there to meet members after the service if you have questions about the pledge or the process or the stewardship campaign. Mark your calendars for February 21st from 4 to 6 for our campaign closeout celebration. Several of our musically talented members will be performing after our members enjoy wine and small bites. We're hoping this celebration will herald our congregation's success in meeting the campaign goal of 100% of our members pledging. Thank you. And now I get to introduce Aliyah Bennett, very familiar to most of us, and she is a blessing to our church. Aliyah.
Good morning. Before we step into Stevie Wonder, I just wanted to tell a funny story about my influence over choosing this song. Some of you have seen my daughter running around here, my 3-year-old daughter, and I don't know, she was in the car screaming and crying about something. I don't remember why she was crying. I think I said no to something. But this song came on my shuffle. It came on the radio, and she was like, and there was just a moment of silence, and then she goes, "Mommy, this song makes me not cry anymore." And so I just hope to evoke that spirit of joy with you guys as well. Feel free to sing, dance, or at the very least, clap your hands. All right? Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand. With an equal opportunity for all to sing, dance, and clap your hands, yeah. And just because a record has a groove, don't make it in the groove. But you can tell right away, let you when the people start to move. Hello, they can feel it all over. They can feel it all over, people. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over, people. Ba-da, 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 feel, feel. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Music knows it isn't always will be one of the things that life just won't quit. Here are some of music's pioneers that time will not allow us to forget, no. Well, there's Basie Miller, Satchmo, and the king of all, Sir Duke. And with a voice like Ella's ringing out, there's no way the band could lose. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, people. Ba-da, 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 ba-da,
My toes were tapping. So, by the way, I'm Reverend J. Wolin, the settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. Our opening reading today is an excerpt from the I Have a Dream speech from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., adapted just slightly for gender-inclusive language. You'll pick that up. We have come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of siblinghood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all people. Please join me now as I light our chalice and share and join in with me on the value of justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large.
So today's story is Let Freedom Sing by Vanessa Newton. And in this story, there's a song that you will all recognize. And I'd love if you would join in the last time it is sung. And I'll let you know when to join in. Now, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. On benches just for colored, black folks obeyed the rules. Rosa Parks refused to move. She let her light shine. Preaching from his pulpit, Dr. King had a dream. And when he spoke in Alabama, he let his light shine. With boycotts in Montgomery, Dr. King inspired all. Walkers along the bus routes, they let their lights shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. School for blacks in Little Rock, separate but not equal. 9 high school kids, they let their light shine. Students at lunch counters, they hoped to be served. As the Greensboro 4 sat waiting, they let their light shine. At a school in New Orleans, shouting filled the air. Ruby Bridges walked alone, she let her light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. On the March on Washington, thousands walked for miles. Dr. King had a dream. He let his light shine. President Lyndon Johnson helped to change the law. Civil rights for everyone. He let his light shine.
And speaking to all Americans, Barack Obama had a dream. As President of the United States, he let his light shine. So let's now sing together.
Everybody. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The fight for civil rights so that each of us can be guaranteed the promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is always ongoing. But now, more than ever, each of us needs to let our light shine, to push back the darkness of hate that threatens to overcome us, and to become the light of hope and love. May it be so. I now invite any children and youth to join me in the West Wing for fun, art, and games. Thank you.
This is a pretty sad song. In choosing this song, I've been feeling a lot of rage and grief lately, and music has always been a medium for me to express things, and so if I'm going to wail about it, I can wail in the song, and yeah.
now invite up our board chair and our membership team chair. June and Linda. Every few times a year, we recognize our newest members of the congregation. We hold a little ceremony of, I would say, covenant amongst all of us in welcoming them to the congregation. And so I invite all those new members who are here today to please come up. Yeah, thank you.
Now is the time during the service that we honor our newest members and their decision to join the UUs of Sarasota. We encourage you to share with us your creative thoughts, your vital experiences in life, your doubts, and your dreams about what life and our lives together can be.
It is a joy to welcome each of you as a member into our community. Becoming a member of the UU of Sarasota is an important step, but it is only the first step. I encourage you to grow your religious lives and to explore and share your unique gifts. Will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and responsibilities of membership? If you agree, please say yes.
Yes.
Members of the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota, will you reach out to these people in friendship, including them in our activities? Will you walk with them in their religious journey? Will you be open to their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that each of you was once a new member, and I'm so happy to see you all here.
And now it's your turn. Yes. We join our strengths, talents, and commitment with yours. You are a part of us, and we are a part of you. Ours is a shared ministry to help each other find meaning in life and to build a just and compassionate life and world, working to fulfill the mission of the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. So let's all give our new members a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you all. And you too can be a new member if you're not a member yet. You always have that opportunity. And so now, I invite you, we will sing our hymn, Spirit of Life.
One of my opportunities is to be part of the Stewardship Committee, and they have asked me to share with you why I pledge to SSRQ every year. My journey towards giving to a religious organization has evolved over the years. It's gone from wonderment as a child to a deeper understanding from a business perspective, and now it's household right in my heart. Being raised by an excommunicated Catholic was not easy. My dad was put out of the church because in those days, your bride had to sign papers agreeing to raise their children Catholic. He was okay with leaving the church, but he never left behind his practices and beliefs. We went to church several times a week and did so with great reverence. As a young child, I didn't question my dad's beliefs or perspective on religion. Then he became a deacon of the church, and my first wondering about donating to the church came when a minister showed up in our living room to ask my dad for a large donation. After the visit, I looked at Dad and said, "Are people charged to go to church?" It didn't make sense to me to have to pay for something so sacred that had been presented to me as a gift and a fortunate blessing. He told me I'd understand when I got older. I did develop an understanding for the need for a donation when I ran an organization and was responsible for balancing the budget. My wondering about why to give and donate to the church evolved into a much greater understanding based on bare facts. No organization can exist without money, and the major support for a church comes from the congregants. My transition from wonderment to understanding with facts was a natural one. The last step of my journey has been more meaningful and has moved in a totally different direction since I've been a Unitarian Universalist, and particularly here in Sarasota. Let me tell you a quick story. I've been a committed, with a fire in my belly, activist fighting for racism and social justice since the early 60s. When I retired from my last job, I decided at the age of 73 it was time to slow down. I announced at my retirement party that my next plan was to rest, spending time with family, playing my piano, exercising, and reading. That lasted for a time, and then I was sitting out there in one of those chairs that you're in and heard Reverend J for my first time. Something welled up in me that I couldn't ignore, and I left the service pondering what I had heard. I knew one thing for sure: my retirement and rest were over. I got home, and whenever I want to make sense of what has happened and to think through what it means to me, I return to some of my favorite authors and poets to help me process it. I remember a writing by David White in which he shared that sometimes the fatigue we feel isn't really from hard work. True energy and presence comes from aligning actions with one's core values, allowing for deeper engagement in what truly matters. The antidote for fatigue isn't really rest, but it can be renewing one's own real purpose in life, clarifying one's values, and taking action, living true to one's purpose and values. This is what White refers to as living wholeheartedly. Some might also call it spiritual vitality, and as we learned this morning, it's having your light on and shining as bright as it can be. Here's where my heart enters into why I give to UUSRQ. Renewing my purpose, clarifying my values, and taking action on both. Each Sunday morning, I get quiet time here to assess my past week, challenge myself as to whether I have lived by UU values, and this usually leads me to humility and a desire to do more. And my purpose of fighting for equity and justice is refueled, and I'm offered ways to take action to live out my purpose. There's Reverend Jay's reflections, my work with my fellow members on the Racial Justice Committee and the Racial Justice Act and team, the passion that the Stewardship Committee has put into assuring that we continue to meet the needs of our congregation and community. And then there's the choir, Don, the 50 groups, Aliyah, that gather and help create who we are as a community. I could go on and on. Each and every one of you sitting there in your own way has contributed to my living a wholehearted life. This is a precious gift, so priceless that its value cannot be determined. I don't think of my pledge as a donation. I've come to think of it as an exchange of gifts and my opportunity to give back. From a selfish perspective, I want all of what we have here to continue and to even grow with a second minister so that everyone can feel that they can find what helps them live wholeheartedly as a part of our congregation, and that we can bring love, our values, which are so badly needed now, the time is now, into the world around us. In the words of Martin Luther King, this country will not be a good place for any of us to live unless we make it a good place for all of us to live. Among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. Thank you.
And now, to practice liberating your soul, we will now take our offering for the congregation.
walk it out. Move mountains. We gon' walk it out. Move mountains. And don't rise up high like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up high like a wave. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. When silence isn't quiet, it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise you will bring the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up high like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. You, but that we have each other. Oh, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up high like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. Yeah. And we'll rise up high like the day. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you.
I mean, literally, I'm crying. I have to tell you, that song is on one of my Apple lists for Keep Strong. It's my Keep Strong playlist, and thank you. sometimes the symmetry of what songs music chooses and what I wish for just come together so beautifully. So thank you so much. So I was born in 1959. I was a child during the 1960s civil rights movement. But I remember vividly the assassination of Martin Luther King. Malcolm X was assassinated when I was only 6 years old in the neighborhood that my grandparents lived in, actually, raising tension and fear about safety in my household. There was a pattern in our country of leading voices of color being assassinated for speaking out against oppression. And due to that, I think largely due to that, today's leadership is very decentralized. But in the 60s, the two largest voices were the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. They're often portrayed as being conflicting, but the story is, of course, much more complex, both with children of preachers whose lives and ministries evolved and occasionally intersected and complemented each other. King grew up in a relatively stable, middle-class household rooted in the Black church and supported by a strong family and community. His education at prestigious Morehouse College, seminary in Pennsylvania, and graduate school at Boston University shaped his theological and ethical vision. And I would say, summarize, he gave a speech in 1962 at Cornell College in Iowa, and he said, and I quote, "People often hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they do not know each other. They do not know each other because they cannot communicate. They cannot communicate because they are separated," end quote. Now, Malcolm X had a very different upbringing. His father, Earl, also a preacher, was a follower of Marcus Garvey, promoting Black nationalism, and the KKK forced them out of Omaha. Their house was burned in Michigan, and Earl, his father Earl, was subsequently murdered. And that left the family in dire poverty, and eventually social services broke up the entire family of siblings. Unlike Martin, Malcolm lived in abject poverty. As theologian James Cone writes, and I quote, "In the ghetto where survival was arduous and violence was an everyday experience, nonviolence was not meaningful, and most regarded it as a weakness," end quote. In prison, though, Malcolm found a foundation of belief in the Nation of Islam and its leader, Elijah Muhammad. And this provided discipline and support for him, as well as in the larger African-American community that he lived in when he got out of prison. Malcolm rose to the highest levels in the Nation of Islam, often proposing violence for self-defense, although I can find no record of him actually using or ordering violence, just threatening it. So I want to just also be clear, we should not confuse the Nation of Islam with traditional Islam. However, the Nation of Islam instilled self-reliance and pride in African descent while being virulently anti-Christian, calling it the religion of oppressors. So after negative publicity due to Malcolm's negative comments about President Kennedy's assassination and discovering Elijah Muhammad's improprieties, Malcolm was ostracized from the Nation of Islam. And this, in a way, gave him some new intellectual freedom. He took a pilgrimage to Mecca and experienced a spiritual rebirth. He said, and I quote, "What I have seen has forced me to rearrange my thought patterns and turn aside previous conclusions. Here in this ancient Holy Land, they were of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans, all participating in the same ritual, displaying unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America led me to believe could never exist between white and non-white. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but I have always tried to face facts and accept reality as new experiences unfolds, end quote. So when Malcolm returned, he spoke to wider audiences, college students, labor unions, the Socialist Worker Party. It is not the case of, he said, of our people wanting either separation or integration. The use of these words clouds the real picture. The 22 million Afro-Americans seek recognition and respect as human beings, end quote. So you can see how his attitude changed. And though not abandoning the possibility of violence, he moved closer to King in seeking reconciliation and justice rather than separation. And 9 months after returning from Mecca, he was assassinated, presumably by the Nation of Islam. Now, Malcolm's profound transformation shows us what is possible, transforming hate into love, not abandoning one's principles or even their tactics, but seeing a wider, more inclusive view. Martin Luther King sent this cable to Malcolm's wife, which said, "While we did not always see eye to eye on methods, I always had deep affection for Malcolm and felt he had great ability to put his finger on the existence and root of the problem. He was an eloquent spokesperson and had great concern for the problems we face as a race," end quote. And as well, Malcolm X, when King was in prison, went down to visit Coretta King, Malcolm's wife, and said that his activity, he had hoped, would bring more white people to Martin. And that his goal was not to be, they both had the same goal, but looking to find ways to work together to achieve that goal. You know, we tend to idolize King today, freezing him in that "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963. But just as Malcolm transformed and moved towards King's position, King also evolved and became increasingly militant, even in his peaceful resistance. King's rhetoric sharpened dramatically over time. And by 1967, he was calling America, I quote, "the greatest purveyor of violence in the world," and demanding a radical redistribution of economic and political power, end quote. When he opposed the Vietnam War, recognizing that the Vietnamese struggle mirrored African American struggle here, many allies, black and white, abandoned him, saying he should stay in his lane. But King saw that racism, militarism, and economic exploitation were interconnected evils that required a revolutionary restructuring of the American society, and they killed him for it. The King who was assassinated in 1968 while supporting striking sanitation workers was far more radical than the King in 1963. Both Martin and Malcolm were moving toward a more comprehensive vision of justice when they were killed. So knowing what we know, facing increased racism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, how will we respond? Will we be like quiet Germans who looked away during Nazi Germany? Or will we stand up to hate and finally build our beloved community? Will we take direct action to put forth our values into the world, stand up with all who are oppressed, and speak truth to power to put this country back on the path to freedom? You know, this past year we have seen assault after assault on immigrants, both naturalized citizens, documented and undocumented residents. We hear vulgar, dehumanizing language from our leaders. People are stopped and asked for their papers, ignoring our already diminished Fourth Amendment rights. Masked ICE agents, a private army without accountability, rounding up people of color without warrants. You know, I don't see them going after the Irish immigrants in New York City, ever, no. You know, last week, of course, we saw the murder, if you watched the video, of a young white woman, and her last words to the ICE agent were, "I'm not mad at you," right before he executed her. And it was an execution. We have seen this barbarism before in history. In the lead up to sending Jews and others to the gas chambers, we have seen this disregard for humanity in our country when we considered Africans property and not people. We have seen this racial demonization in war propaganda, which led to Japanese American citizens being sent to detention camps during World War II, while German Americans kept their freedom. Dehumanizing people is the first step to convincing people to harm others. And so it is up to us to speak loudly and to speak clearly what our values are, so that our leaders know that we do not hold their values, that we show the community that we believe in humanizing people, that we need to recognize and respect that every human being has worth and dignity, and that every human being deserves justice, equity, and compassion. We as a country need a spiritual rebirth. Martin and Malcolm showed us individual change is possible, and they showed us that people from all walks of life in the right place, in the right time, can rise up and affect change in the world. Now is the time. Now is the place. We need to rise up and act against this morally corrupt government. As philosopher John Stuart Mill said, bad people need nothing more to achieve their ends than that good people should look on and do nothing. Let us keep Martin and Malcolm's legacy alive by doing something to stop this travesty of justice. And so I invite you to participate, whether it is writing letters to your elected officials. I invite you to join us every Sunday at the Immigration Vigil at Payne Park to bear witness to the moral failings of this government. I invite you to work for voter turnout in the next election. I invite you to gather with our Immigration Coalition and our other social justice teams, and let us be united with our partners in the community in our work to stand up for injustice. Let us listen to those who are suffering, and let us follow them, not just to the mountaintop, but into the streets and wherever else is necessary, until justice wells up like water and righteousness like an unfailing stream. We are not at that mountaintop yet. In fact, we are now, I think, in the plain of despair. So it is time to continue to climb that mountain again, to remember the dreams of those who died in the struggle, to remember that we are not in the promised land yet, and that we still have some walking to do in the wilderness. It is still in the distance, and we cannot tire. The time to start climbing again is now, and it will take all of us. May it be so. And may we make it so. Please rise in body and/or spirit for our closing hymn, number 151, I Wish I Knew How. Our closing words are from the book Martin and Malcolm, America, A Dream or a Nightmare by James Cone. Martin King was right. The hour is late and the clock of destiny is ticking out. We must declare where we stand on the great issues of our time. Racism is one of them. Poverty is one of them. Sexism another, class exploitation another, imperialism another. We must break the cycle of violence in America and around the world. Human beings are meant for life and not for death. They are meant for freedom and not for slavery. They were created for each other, not against each other. We must therefore break down the barriers that separate people from one another. Please join me now in extinguishing the chalice.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you all for your presence here today. Go out, do good, be good. Thank you.